How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. It helps out, means a ton. You guys get plenty of fun stuff. Not just Choujin X, we cover plenty of manga on the channel. Typically, we don't even discuss Choujin X. It's just chapter reviews. But hey, if you guys like this, want to see more of it, hit that like, leave some comments, let me know. And maybe we'll do it again. So, what is Azuma's purpose? This is something I've wanted to discuss for a little bit now because, well, from the beginning of the series, chapter 1, I figured, Azuma and Tokyo, this dynamic duo we got going on. They both had the injection with the Choujin juice or whatever that was, I don't know. Tokyo's gotten his Choujin powers, Azuma still hasn't. And he's kind of just been doing his own thing while we've been following Tokyo and Ellie. But I assume at some point his Choujin powers will awaken. But how will we develop his character? How will he work his way into the story leading up to that point? First things first, I want to reiterate where Azuma and Tokyo kind of stand going into the story. Remember, Tokyo is, obviously he is the sidekick. He's not cool like Azuma, he's not popular like Azuma, he's not good at fighting like Azuma, he's not confident like Azuma, he's not all of these things that Azuma is. Azuma is the kid that, like I said, popular, good at fighting, all of these things. Everything's going right for Azuma, and Tokyo just kind of seems like he's one of those people that's almost a little bit invisible to most people around, or most people around just don't really care that he's there. And I think things will kind of start to shift in the other direction a little bit. Tokyo has gotten his Choujin powers, but keep in mind, we know Choujin powers are not all good, happy, dandy, woo! No, there's a lot of downsides that come with having them. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, it actually kind of sucks sometimes. Azuma does not seem like he entirely understands this, which is understandable because Tokyo didn't really either until he started to learn more about it through being a Choujin and interacting with other Choujins and Choujin society as a whole, I guess. At the beginning of the series in chapter 1, Azuma says something along the lines of, those Choujin get away with whatever they want because of their powers. If you have all that power, you might as well do something good with it at least. Along those lines. So he doesn't quite understand exactly what it's like to be a Choujin. Now, something I want to bring up when we talk about Tokyo getting his powers and Azuma not getting his powers. Azuma is this, I'm gonna save this person. Remember how their dynamic was at the beginning of the series. Tokyo would call Azuma and be like, hey, there's somebody getting haggled over here. Can you come, save the day and help him? And Azuma would be like super vigilante, super cop and jump off the roof and save the day and fight off the bad guy, literally. Like, he was doing vigilante type shit. So keeping that in mind, I could definitely see Azuma sitting there stewing, brewing to himself like, man, I wish I could get my Choujin powers. If I could get my Choujin powers, think of all the good I could do. Think of all the people I could save. Think of all the bad people I can put behind bars. Think of all the accidents I could stop. Like, I could do so much. And I could see Azuma starting to look at Tokyo like, hey, why aren't you helping more people? You got all these powers, you're super fast, and you can fly, and you're light, and you can jump all over the place. You know how many people you could save on a nightly basis with these powers? And I think it's pretty obvious that at this point, Tokyo would kind of have to explain to Azuma, one, I'm not even allowed to do that. I have a registration that says if I am in trouble, or if I happen to see somebody else in trouble, I can use my powers to help. That is it. I can't go out and be a vigilante. They will arrest me. I saw a woman get a giant sword shoved through her giant snake head. This stuff is serious, dude. I'm not in high school right now. I'm in the Choujin world. We are not playing around here. So if Azuma hasn't lived that life, he hasn't been there in Yamato Mori, he hasn't seen all these things that Tokyo has seen, he hasn't been given all of the threats that Tokyo has been given, well, he hasn't seen that with his own eyes. He doesn't understand it from that perspective. Keep in mind, these are kids we're talking about, 14, 15 years old, something like that. Not always the most rational at that stage in life. Just saying. I know I wasn't. Anyway, yeah, I could see this really bringing the two of them to kind of butt heads and have their relationship come to a boil. I could see this be something that happens, a big fight between Azuma and Tokyo, and then, not too long after this, Azuma could get his powers. After this, you go, oh yeah, finally, okay, now, see, I'm gonna go show Tokyo what I was saying. I'm gonna go out, do all this, he gets a really big head, gets super confident. He's always been the cool guy. Everybody's always followed him. Everybody's always liked him. He's always been able to do what he thought was right and get away with it. He goes out, head full of steam, full of confidence, doing what he thinks right. Two things might happen. One, he might run into another Choujin. Another Choujin that would probably have much more experience using their abilities than him. So, there's a decent chance Azuma ends up almost dying or possibly just getting wrecked by another Choujin, getting put in his place. Or he goes out, does save the day, just for like civilians or whatever, and then gets arrested because he's not allowed to use his Choujin powers. If they find out that he is friends with somebody like Tokyo, friends with a Choujin, close personal friends, understands the rules, knew them prior to doing this, alright, you're arrested. Or maybe even worse, maybe he doesn't know how to use his Choujin powers yet, but he's all confident, goes out there and accidentally gets somebody killed. This could be a huge, huge turning moment for Azuma. This could be Azuma's darkest moment. And then at this point, Tokyo has now been good, followed the rules with his Choujin powers, improved with them, got them better under control. Tokyo's life may start to actually turn in the other direction with gaining Choujin powers, and at this point, Azuma would be down at the bottom. Now we have fully switched places, and Tokyo can try to help Azuma raise back up. Maybe, or we could just keep going further and further and further the opposite directions, and then boom, Azuma's the big main end villain. Oh, I don't know. We could go a route where Azuma ends up becoming the main bad guy through some difference he has with Tokyo. I have no idea. That's getting way down the line. That's getting super speculative. What I have laid out besides that, main bad guy part, kind of just joking there. Anyway, all this other stuff with the turmoil between the two of them, Azuma not really understanding where Tokyo's coming from as a Choujin because he hasn't experienced it. He hasn't gained his powers and gone through the trials and tribulations that Tokyo has yet. All of that, the two of them, their friendship coming to a boil, Azuma getting to his weakest point after finally unlocking his Choujin powers and thinking he has all the answers because, well, up until now, he has. He's been that guy with all the answers. That's why Tokyo always came to him. Maybe after all of that happens, maybe Azuma will start to go to Tokyo, and maybe he'll actually start to listen to his childhood friend. I think this could spell out a really wonderful story here with some really low lows, and a really good story to come back and to finally be friends again, and to let Tokyo get the spotlight and show Azuma that things aren't always on the up and up. Sometimes life gets on the down and down, and sometimes it's tough. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I do have some other thoughts I could kind of put together for maybe a part 2, possibly a different, slightly direction. I don't know, maybe. If you're still around and you would like to see that, let me know down in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, I appreciate all the watch time anyway, so thanks for being here. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. I'm out.